Hey guys, what's going on everybody? It's Mr. Samicam here and welcome back to episode 3 of PvP tips and tricks. So today we're going to be looking over the bow, guys. So as usual, if you know this episode helped you in any way and improved your PvP skills, then please do leave a like below. It shows me that it helped and stuff, and obviously I'm making these videos to help, so it'd be awesome if they helped. But yeah, hopefully you do enjoy this episode. I go over a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot in this episode. It's probably the most detailed one, because, I mean, there's tons to do with the bow. I mean, some of them just say, you know, all you need to do is practice, but it's a lot more to it than that. So hopefully you do enjoy this episode, and we'll get into the first tip. Alright, guys, so the very first tip I'm going to give you here is practice. Now, you might be thinking when you clicked on this video, how are you ever going to show me any tips to do with the bow? And I know, guys, the main tip is just literally practice, because the more you practice, the better you're going to get, you know, the hang of the bow and how it works and stuff, and the more you're going to be able to judge where your opponent's going and stuff, which I'm going to be talking about a bit later. But yeah, just keep practicing, guys, because it does take a while to get good at using the bow. Even I'm not perfect yet, and nobody can be perfect with the bow, but you can get quite good eventually, knowing your opponent's going and stuff. So definitely practice a lot. But there are other few tips that I can give you to improve your accuracy with the bow a little bit, and improve how you use it and how efficiently you use it in games. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. Alright, guys, so the first few tips I'm going to give you here is to do with the bow's power. So as you know, to shoot a bow, you have to hold down your click, and there you go, it's fully charged. Obviously, I have a texture pack with it actually says the power on it. And so basically, when it goes green, that's power 1. When it goes to red, that is power 3, so that's fully charged. When it's on charge 2, it still does about a heart damage. So if you have a lot of arrows, for instance, this is a really good tip I can give you guys. If you have a lot of arrows, then shoot people with number 2. Like, this might be quite hard to start with, but once you get used to it, you'll be able to do this pretty much every time. If you shoot them with 1, it's sort of, that does almost next to no damage, and unless, I guess, you're doing it for knockback purposes, like you're walking back and then you're shooting them, it's not really going to be all that effective. So if you have quite a few arrows, then obviously use the second charge on your bow. It takes a while to get it, you know, like completely right, and sometimes you might over time it and stuff, but once you get your timing right, 2 charges allows you to fire reasonably fast, as well as actually being able to do a lot of damage to your opponent. Now, if you have not many arrows, however, what you want to do is you want to take your time with your arrows. So say you've got around 2 arrows, and then you don't want to waste them. You know, you want to do as much damage to your opponent as you can, and so the thing you do here is fully charge your bow. So obviously, if your opponent's going around there and you've got a lot of arrows, you can kind of like do 2 charges to them to kill them a bit faster, not doing as much damage. But if you've got little arrows, what I tend to do is I fully charge the bow, and then sorry I've got no test on me to do this against. I fully charge the bow, kind of take a second to work out where they're going, and then shoot, and that's going to do the optimum damage to them, but it does take quite a bit of time to fire a lot of arrows. Alright, guys, so the second tip I'm going to give you is actually to do with your settings. Now, you might be thinking, how can settings help you with your bow skills? Well, they actually do. So if you can go into options, guys. Now, FOV. Now, take the FOV that you normally use. So say because I personally have been using Quake Pro for a long time, you want to use Quake Pro, because whatever you're used to, you'll do well with the bow with. Now, if you've got it on normal, it's actually going to look like your arrows are going slower, and you have to aim higher up your screen to hit the target. So like here, I'm shooting there. It's just it takes a while to get used to different FOVs with the bow. So use the one that you're used to. So if I'm used to Quake Pro, so it looks like my arrows are, you know, I don't have to aim as high up because my FOV is actually higher. Just a little bit to take in mind, because if you suddenly switch to something, don't expect to be good with the bow straight away, because it takes a bit of getting used to. Alright, so the second one I'm going to show you guys is actually view bobbing. So if you have view bobbing on, which is what I used to use, you'd notice when you're holding your bow bobs around a little bit. Now, to some of you this might seem, oh, how can that affect your bow aim? Now when you're aiming, it bobs up and down a bit as well. As you can see there, I'm jumping, it's bobbing up and down. Now this can deorientate some people. It's not too bad for me because I've been using view bobbing for so long. But yeah, if you turn view bobbing off, then that just takes away that bow movement, and you can literally just shoot. And when you're running, you can just quickly whip your bow out and then just do that. But yeah, it's just some people, they aim their bow from where the end of the bow is, and when it's bobbing about, as I'll show you here, it's like yeah, it's just a bit harder to aim your bow at the person. So for the best results, I would definitely recommend view bobbing turned off. Alright guys, the next tip I'm going to give you is actually judge your opponent's movements and guess where they're going to be in a few seconds, because dependent on how far away you are from the opponent, it's going to be a bit of a delay before it actually gets to them. So you've got to judge where they're going to be in a few seconds. Now this will improve as you practice, but yeah, as you can see here, I'm just trying to guess where he's going to be, guess where he's going to move to, and then shoot him when he gets there. So next tip, guys, is actually how to counter another person bowing you, I guess. So how you do this is you literally just weave side to side. Now this really does disorientate the person who's shooting you, and it makes them have to really think where you're going to be, otherwise they are not going to hit you. The best way to do this is don't go in patterns, don't move left and right, because a decent player, they're going to guess after a while that you're going to go the opposite direction. So try and make it uneven, try and go one way then the other, then sort of dummy them and stuff like that. Just try and do it as random as possible, and you'll improve at this as you practice again. Alright guys, so as you can see here, it's actually really hard for me to hit him while he's dodging them, because I'm not really sure where he's going to be in a few seconds, and yeah, he's just dodging really randomly, weaving in and out, so I can't hit him. Alright guys, the next thing you can do to improve your bow skills is actually do what you can see me doing right now. So it's kind of hard to explain, but after you shoot, basically just kind of look to the side, jump to the side, and it's sort of dodging and shooting at the same time. But yeah, so you shoot and then you move to one side, you shoot and then you move to another side, and this is going to cause them to shoot where you were and for you to not take the shot that they shot at you, if you get what I'm saying. Alright, so the next tip I'm going to give you guys is a really popular one that I've told you guys in the last 2 episodes. So this is, once again, take advantage of your environment. So as you can see here, I run to cover, and that is meaning that only half of my body is showing, which means they've got a little like a smaller target to hit on me, which is going to make it more difficult for them to hit me. So yeah, this is really useful. As you can see here, it's really hard for me to see Sneaky, and he's actually jumping and then shooting while he's in midair. That means I can only see him for a split second, but it means that he has the chance to shoot me as well. So yeah, it's really good using cover and using your environment. Alright guys, so another tip I'm going to actually teach you now is actually hitboxes. So as you can see guys, if you find an arrow if you're running out of arrows, I say, and you're looking for arrows on the ground, you need some arrows to pick up, then obviously these aren't very hard to spot, as you can see. That is very more blended in with the ground, and it'd be really hard to find them. Now there is actually a way to get around this. Now if you hold F3 and press B, then that will turn on hitboxes. Now what this does is, boom, puts a box around all the entities. So because arrows are entities, this means you can see boxes around them. So if I shoot another one just here, you'll see that whenever I shoot them, the box will follow them. So if you turn these on, then it's going to make it a lot easier to find arrows. So you're in a fighting him, you can just go pick all of these up, know exactly where they are. And another use for this is actually dodging arrows, because when that is coming, when normal arrows coming towards you, you can't see it as well. But then when a massive white box is coming towards you, you're going to be able to dodge it a lot easier. So if a person is fighting you, they've got tons of arrows, you need to dodge a lot. Maybe turn hitboxes on might help, because you can see the actual box coming towards you, and you're able to react more quickly to the actual arrow. Alright guys, so I'm now going to show you probably the most complex tactic in this episode, and probably in the whole series so far. So once you feel you're comfortable with all of those other tactics, you can move on to this one. So I use this quite a lot personally, and I find it very effective, but you only will find it effective if you've got it completely right. So yeah, this is going to be hard to explain. So first of all, you shoot a bow out. And that arrow is going to knock your opponent back a little bit, and then that allows you to go with your fishing rod to knock them back a little bit more, and that's going to allow a massive combo with your sword. So as you can see here, I hit them with the bow, hit them with the fishing rod, and then hit them with the sword. It might be too fast for you guys to see, because you do have to flick pretty fast to have the knockback affecting the next thing you do, but yeah, that's a very complex thing, so don't expect to get that straight away. It's just something I've sort of picked up over time, and I thought I should show you it. So finally guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching this episode of Tips and Tricks. That is all the tips I could say about the bow. I believe I've gone through absolutely everything then. This is definitely the most detailed episode I've done. But yeah, if it did help you at all, a like rating would be appreciated. Wow, that was a 10-minute tips and tricks video. That was pretty crazy, I must say. So yeah, thank you very much for watching again. If it did teach you anything and you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, and yeah, become a Mr. Sammy fan. Well, yeah, I had a guy comment on my video a few days ago saying I'm a Mr. Sammy fan, and I thought that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you want me to call you guys Mr. Sammy fans, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, that I don't know. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next PvP episode.